This podcast is brought to you by MinervaBeauty.com.
Welcome to the Matt Beck Podcast. Woke up this way. He's got a lot of cool stuff he's going to show you today. The latest news, industry topics, and business tips. For all hairstylists and salon owners, it's time to flip the script. Grab your precision scissors, barber combs, and swivel twist razors. Let's cut a bob, a quick shag, pixie cut with a little bit of flavor. Check out the live classes, product reviews, let's rock on. Don't forget to check out freesaloneducation.com. I woke up this way. It's going to be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up this way.
Happy Friday.
It's gonna be a
Happy
great
Friday.
day.
Welcome to the Woke Up This Way podcast. Today, we're going to do a little bit of hair. We're going to do a little bit of talking about hair. If you guys have questions and you're looking for answers, then post them in the comments. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, where else are we live? We're live in the Facebook community. We're everywhere right now. We're currently everywhere. On the show today, Carly is here. Christina is here.
Hi.
And I got a couple questions that kind of came through social media, but I also want to make sure that we're answering. We'll have a little bit of a Friday free-for-all kind of thing happening.
Ooh.
And then
Freestyle Friday.
Freestyle Friday. And then we're going to cut some bangs
I woke up this way.
later. So, wait a sec. You have a theme song. Yes. And we do.
If you Shazam that, does it come up the Matt Beck?
It should. I wonder how you do that. How do you?
I have no idea.
We'll Shazam it.
Let's work on that.
Monday.
All right. So
It's number
We
one
got-
on iTunes right
just
now.
so you know, we got swag now. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Swag.
I mean, I guess. T-shirts.
It's
Merch.
We have merch. Merch. So if you guys want to get a sweatshirt or a T-shirt that says "I woke up this way," it would be fun.
Do it.
And
It'd be a great day.
it would be a great day. I would expect nothing less. So again, Robin says hi, Carly.
Hi.
All right. So make sure if you want to see something today, it's, what is it called? Freestyle Friday.
Freestyle,
Freestyle
Friday.
Friday.
Hashtag Freestyle Friday. If you
Hashtag
want to see
free.
something or ask a question about something, post it. I do want to mention that MinervaBeauty.com, we partner with them in a lot of things. They're giving away a blow dryer. So,
Oh, sweet.
so we have a contest. Now, here's the deal. You can either go to our Instagram at Free Salon Education and click on the link in our bio. I'm going to put it there after the show. It's not in there right. But go to our link, and then it's actually MinervaBeauty.com/win. The problem is you got to write HTTP hyphen backslash, like that whole thing. If you don't type that in, which I just realized right now, it doesn't go to the page. So click the link in our bio or Minerva Beauty's bio on Instagram, and here's how you win their blow dryer, which is like $100 blow dryer. It's the Minerva BI 5000 professional blow dryer. Super powerful, lightweight, indestructible. So if you're looking for a new blow dryer, it's definitely the one. Here's how you enter. Follow at Minerva Beauty on Instagram, and then fill out the simple form on their website, which is the MinervaBeauty.com/win. And literally, they just ask for your email and your Instagram handle, and that's it. And then you're entered into the contest. So you can't win if you don't play. So go sign up for the contest, and they're giving away. Sometimes they give away even more than one. So definitely try it out. Enter by May 6th, so you don't have much time. So May 6th, 2019. All right. Let's see. Lisa. Lisa's like, wow, there are only 11 views right now. Here's the deal, Lisa. You're on Facebook, and you might be in the community. I don't know where you're at, but there are people watching in other places. So don't get so upset. Don't get upset about our view count. All right.
She said she loves your work.
Yes. No, it's really nice.
Oh, okay.
And-
Just Erica wanted to know where to buy the merch. So
freesaloneducation.com. It's on the front page.
Yeah.
So it's very simple. And price them to sell, not to take your money. So yeah. Let's see. All right, cool. So thank you guys for tuning in. There was an article on the news. Let's see. I want to talk about this. Family disappointed after junior high school. Did you guys see this on Facebook? Junior high school student, he had a design cut into his hair, and it didn't fit the dress code, so they made him color it in with a Sharpie or something.
What?
Yeah, with a marker. Because he violated the dress code. Look, it's like this little M.
You need to give
thing.
me those pictures so we can put it
I
up.
know, I really do.
That's ridiculous.
I can show it to everybody on the camera.
Isn't
right
that like overstepping a boundary for making someone put a marker on their head in some sense too? Like what?
Isn't that literally like how the world is now? We just overstep boundaries and make like adults. Adults don't adult anymore. Here's the picture. See if it focuses. Stop looking at my face. All right, here we go. I'm gonna zoom in.
Okay.
I have the power.
Okay, so that's the image of it with not the Sharpie.
No, that's Sharpie. Like you can see it on the picture if it.
Okay,
you know,
it's not very good on this side, but okay.
Yeah, sorry, but it is. It's colored in. You can see that they tried to color it. It didn't do a very good job. But that's. There we go. But that's kind of the thing. So I want to get people's opinions on this, and
I struggle with this stuff because if it's written in the handbook that is not the dress code or that is the dress code, whatever, you should follow it. But that punishment doesn't. I feel like that's not the correct way. You don't get to choose what my kid puts on their head.
Yeah, I think that's where
But
we had this. This happens in life in a lot of different things, but I think
Carly was
so the Buffalo Wild Wings in Westminster, Maryland. I was looking for a job and I had some fun pink hair going on, and I went in there and I asked to speak to the manager, and I was greeted by a gentleman with a visible, and this is nothing against people with tattoos or hair or whatever at it, but he had a visible tattoo. And I said, "Hi, I'm looking for a job. I have my application here. I talked to your manager." While he went to go get the manager, other employees came up and they were like, "Oh, yeah, no, they're not going to hire you here with your hair color." And as the manager came up, she agreed. She said, "Yeah, sorry, we can't hire you with that hair." And I didn't work there. I said, "Okay, bye." But it's crazy. Like it's now 2019, and that's still the kind of things that are happening. Like it has nothing to do with my work ethic.
Yeah, and honestly, I could see like if this kid had, it's like an M.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he could just be a fan of the show.
Right.
But also, I do understand that like people do have
dress codes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people can't get carried away at our salon. There's days sometimes where like maybe we should rule a dress code because some of them come in a little bit too lax. It's hard to set boundaries, but at a school, they have a written handbook for a reason. So I'm just curious to see what that, but I don't agree with the Sharpie, the markering it in at all.
Yeah. Sin is saying, I think it's Sin. So how would you pronounce CYN? Cindy. Duh. Cindy. That one hit me right in the face.
Oh my gosh.
I can't comment live. I used to get the live feed. How do I get it back? Cindy, you are commenting live. You are definitely commenting live.
Cindy,
so
we see
you're
you.
Good. We see you.
We hear you. We see you and we hear you, girl. And Matt just
I can't.
So like, it's at the school, are they not allowed to have an M on their shirt? Or, like what's the difference at that point?
So somebody actually this isn't like obviously somebody that pays attention to this show at all, but somebody comments saying, "Follow the rules, parents. You're sending your kids to school without following the rules." And that's where it maybe, like Christina's saying, maybe they do have maybe they have a rule. You're not supposed to have designs in your head. Maybe they had a problem with it at one point. Communication.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is the rule there, you know?
Yeah.
Or
But there should be now a rule that you cannot color it with Sharpie, send the kid home, or reprimand him in some way, but not.
But that handbook also has rules on how they deal with things, and I bet you that's not in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where it's just another hair thing. Well, hair is always such a big deal.
I know.
Why is hair a big deal? Like, why is pink
that's
hair
my point.
or yeah?
Like the guy with the tattoo could work there, but my hair that had a little bit of pink in it,
Like, why do we easily get
why?
offended of, like, if I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, let's say.
a sports bar.
A sports bar.
It comes with, I think, the word uniform. Everyone should be uniformed. I think that's why. But
Yeah.
that's to say, like, are you just hiring blondes? Are you just hiring brunettes? Are you gonna hire a redhead? Like, so.
Yeah.
But someone
pink-
coming in with brown hair that then colors their hair blonde is not natural.
Right. And then that then becomes discrimination.
Yeah.
Because you can't say no to someone that naturally grows out whatever color out of their head.
Yeah.
You can, but you can get lawfully in a lot of
Yeah.
trouble. So, you know, our opinion on it, I'm sure we don't agree,
Mm-hmm.
but there's rules and laws in this world.
True. Follow the rules, kids.
Follow them, kids, or you're going to get Sharpie all over you.
Joel's saying he's a little late, but the Woke Up This Way podcast gear fits you all very well. Thanks, Joel.
Thanks, Joel.
Good to see you, as always. All right. I don't see. Did you see any other questions or anything? Angelique saying colored hair has nothing to do with work ethic. True that. All right. Here's another fun thing we'll talk about, and then we'll get into cutting bangs. Actually, have you heard of hair wipes for cleaning your hair? Apparently, they are the new thing for when you go to the gym.
Oh, I think somewhere on Instagram. Does Sephora sell them maybe? I feel like I've seen them.
Could
I
be.
don't know. I've never heard of.
Because you know how they have the oil wipes for your face?
Yeah.
Well, they're, oil, that's what makes your hair dirty. So I'm thinking it's something similar. But I don't know.
Sometimes you just want to have time, or you don't have time to shower and blow dry your hair after hitting the gym, but that doesn't mean you have to rock a sweaty, frizzy ponytail for the rest of the day.
I should get that.
That's where the wipes come in. They're here to rescue your hair after you kill it at your next boxing indoor cycling class.
Wow.
So you just wipe.
Huh.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
It's interesting as opposed to just doing a dry shampoo kind of thing. Does anybody use this stuff? I had never heard of the wipes. But
Dry shampoo makes my hair worse,
let's
I
see.
feel like. So I'd be curious to try those wipes.
So check them out. I'm trying to find the brand so anybody can see them. They also go into dry shampoos. Where's that?
Robin's like, volume wipes would be awesome. I know.
That's good. Yeah, they don't really go into a brand. They're just talking about the wipes. So I'm sure you could find them, but yeah. I just thought it was a unique thing that I never heard of.
Matt, you need to up your mic audio.
Really?
Yours is low and the female audio is super loud.
No,
How's
we just
that?
talk really.
I actually
We're
purposely
cavalcanties.
turned it down because usually the end result happens. I'm talking so loud and Carly's like low. Yeah. But Christina's in the house, so it's like evening everything out. You got a strong voice.
Oh, I do.
You do.
Strong voice, strong mind, strong body. I'm a machine.
No camera. All
I like
right.
to keep them guessing.
Let's see. And then castor oil, did you know that helps with hair growth, they're saying,
We've had this conversation
We did?
on the
on splitting hairs?
Splitting Hairs podcast,
Oh.
our previous show. that
Oh,
we-
well, they're still talking about it, and so are we. Let's see.
BM says, have you ever tried the Living Proof dry shampoo? I guess to everyone, but Carly, maybe you should try that one.
I have not. I'll give
Living
that a
Proof.
go.
That's the Jennifer Aniston stuff.
Oh,
Is that what it
okay.
is, Chris? Right? Or is
Isn't that
something else?
Gwyneth Paltrow? Isn't she something else?
No, I think Living Proof is.
You would know.
Will it make me look like Jennifer Aniston?
What dry shampoos have we tried? We've tried.
I like Amika's.
I've tried that
Mika's
one.
is good.
Doesn't work.
Paul Mitchell's.
I like Paul
Tried that
Mitchell's
one.
the foam, the dry foam.
the
thing.
dry foam. Yeah.
I do. And now that one you really have to rub at it. I feel for me, but I really do like that one.
Still looking.
I just nervously broke a tooth out of my comb.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna say out of your mouth. I wasn't even thinking about a comb. My
So did
stomach legit just was like, oh shoot, cha-ching. No.
Oh man,
Oh, it's like
it's almost as bad.
we are having a
can't
shortest
replace
show
this.
today. We gotta go to the dentist.
All right,
Oh.
I'm gonna cut hair. I feel like it's Friday. I feel like we talked to a lot this week. And you guys can
Oh,
hang.
hey Cameo. She misses splitting hairs. Sorry.
Yeah, this is kind of splitting hairs, right? I mean,
It's breaking teeth.
it's breaking teeth. It's more often, that's for sure.
It's chop it, flip it, script.
It's-
Rockstar dry
hairs.
shampoo is good.
Oh, I never tried theirs.
Are you doing a demo? Yes, I am. I'm gonna do a demo.
Alonzo's like, get on with it.
I know. I know. It feels like Friday, and you know what, guys?
Friday feels.
It is well, it's not pouring rain now.
The sun's coming
When
up.
we got here, it got like the clouds came. It was pouring.
The thunder was rolling as
The
I was
thunder
driving.
rolls, and the lightning striked a lot. And now the sun's coming out, so I'm actually feeling better. All right, I'm gonna cut hair. Let's cut hair. All right. Here, let me put some tunes on. Actually, let's do some Friday tunes.
Do you have another song that they made?
No, but I should make another one. Watch this. This is
Part
Friday.
2, the remix.
This is how today's day.
Wait.
This is what it feels like
Oh.
today.
Creep? No, it
The
doesn't.
clouds. Yeah, this is the cloudy day
this
music.
Is what cloudy music.
Yeah, no, let me get something better. It's bumming people out.
Wait, so do you have a product that you would recommend for thick, fuzzy hair to make it look a little less fuzzy? You or Carly?
Thick fuzzy hair?
Robins that play the thunder rolls.
I can't. It's illegal.
I know.
They
They have rules on that.
Yeah, there's definitely we got to follow the rules.
Thick, fuzzy.
What's your favorite? I'll
hair.
tell mine after.
Well, I don't know about thick.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know about thick,
And fuzzy, but I know.
but I know fuzzy. Because I have some fuzzy hairs, so I shampoo with Paul Mitchell, the Awapui Mirror Smooth, and condition with that. Just a little bit of conditioner, a lot through the ends. And I found like that to be amazing and works well. Also the Hydro Whip cream from the Awapui Wild Ginger line. I like that as well.
Yeah, those are good. Good choices.
Thanks.
This is Friday music. I actually really like from a styling standpoint using super skinny serum. I like a lot. I like to mix that with fast form. I find those to be a good combo because it makes the hair sleek, but then you have the creamy control of fast form. So I like that. Those are both Paul Mitchell products. What's Kendall saying here? Baking soda plus arrowroot powder plus cornstarch plus cocoa powder and a few drops of your favorite essential oil.
Okay.
I do like super skinny for fuzz.
For thicker hair,
trying to think
probably,
for
but
thick-
for thinner hair,
For thin
super
hair,
skinny
no.
is like
No. Yeah.
the worst.
All right. I'm going to go cut hair. Hang on.
All right.
Can we answer another question? So Amanda was trying to figure out if using Paul Mitchell Neuro flat iron at about 390 to straighten once or twice a month will interfere with going curly girl. Any thoughts?
Using an iron
On her curly hair is what I'm thinking at 390 to straighten it once or twice a month.
will keep her from having curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm going to go ahead and say that. That's not going to make... I mean, you definitely... If it's just a couple times a month, I don't think you have to worry about it.
I would agree too, but I don't know. I always say that everyone's different. So
390, I don't think is too bad. We definitely... This has become like quite a conversation about like iron temperatures, which Christina's very passionate about.
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
because you hit my head with like 420, and my ends. I'm a level like I'm truly dark Brazilian hair dark roots.
Yes.
No, I should say it's not that dark, but anyway, my ends don't handle 420 very nicely, Matt.
No, they don't.
I go to Matt one day. I'm like, wait a minute. There's like steam, hot air, like smoke coming off the iron. I'm like, what do you have the iron set on? And I look at it. I'm like, oh my God, what iron goes up to 4? What is it?
Well, they go up to 450 now because...
No, but what was that iron? Was it Bricado maybe? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
And that's not the point. And I said, you just bleached my hair. He's like, I don't ever change the settings. I'm like, well, mannequins are different.
Okay, let's get this switched over. All right, so how's the sound? Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being great, 1 being terrible. And let me turn the camera on. There we go. What's that? Christina will.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, camera wasn't working. All right, so we got Liz says a 10, Robin says a 10. We zoom.
Do you have an opinion on any the best curl gel for curly hair without it making it look wet? Maybe you, Carly?
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear your mic, but
No.
no, it just happened.
Hi, Jenna.
Say mom. Hi, mom.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, Lisa said 1 on the sound. If it was because of Matt, he's just putting batteries in. They just run out.
Okay.
Shirley's giving you some love and thanks for all the free education videos because they're better than the ones she paid for.
Awesome. That's great to hear. -1, Marcus. Come on. How's the sound now? Back at a 10? Oh, everyone's
Catching
the
up.
delay is
Mom.
hitting.
His battery died.
Y'all sound fabulous. Thanks, Judy. 10. Can't hear. 10. All right, I think it's coming back to people now. All right, we're good to go. So, all right, guys. So today, what we're going to focus on is cutting bangs. I'm actually going to. I'd love to see in the chat what type of bangs you want to see. I'm kind of set up to cut a few different kinds. I want to finish. I would like to do a curtain bang. I also could show you guys a side fringe. We could do a straight fringe. That's not as fun. I could do a textured fringe, like whatever you guys are thinking. So post that in the comments real quick, and then I'll get started. Curtain bangs, Betty bangs.
What are Betty bangs?
10, let's go. I love this enthusiasm. Side
the
fringe for
short-
either side. That's a good one.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I actually want to talk about side fringe for either side because until I hung out with Sam Villa, I was very, and actually I still have his mannequin. So I'll show you guys. And I still don't know, and I'm not. So Sam Villa, we actually shot a video when he was here, and he cut a fringe that would go to both sides. And this is the fringe. So this is the fringe that way, or this way. And then you can comb it over, and it goes the opposite way as well. And it doesn't have a ton of weight. So first off, I want you guys to know that video is coming. I didn't even think that. I just thought about it in a certain way where there would be weight no matter what, which there kind of is. Like this corner sits a little bit, but it doesn't actually sit heavy like I thought it would. So that's a really exciting video that we're in the process of editing now. So it will be coming out. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to show you guys cutting a fringe to the side that they wear it, because I think that for me in the salon, when you're working with your guest, it's really important to kind of show that, like, to fit their style, to fit them. Like, so to cut the bangs the way that they're really going to wear them. I know that some people like to toss it back and forth. If you're going to do that, I think basically what Sam did was pulled everything I'm going to do, you just do it on both sides, which creates a hole. Just so you guys know, there is a hole in the fringe, and there's a long point that comes down. So the hole is here, and there's a hole here. It disappears when you comb it over. So that's nice. So that's kind of the benefit of it. But just know that there will be kind of a hole in it. But all you're doing is pulling it to both sides and cutting it at that angle that you want. So for today, I'll start with doing a longer side fringe, and then I'll go in and I'll cut a curtain bang for you guys in a center parting, so you can see that as well. And we'll get two different bang haircuts out of this one.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Could you focus on, for Erica, how you decide how much hair belongs in any fringe and head shape?
Yes.
And also, I was just wondering what video, if you had put it out, that curly mannequin that had that loose perm that you just did, because Melanie wanted to watch, she said she personally doesn't want to watch any other educators other than you, but nice. She also said bangs for curly hair. Okay. And I know you just cut that. I didn't know where to reference her to that for that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we put that out yet. If it's on the YouTube channel, it will say curly, because we did a curly shag haircut. I think I'm about to put that out, or it's in the process of coming. So just check in our past 7 videos. So go to YouTube, Free Salon Education YouTube channel, and then you can look at, does it still look all right?
I think she looks pretty good. She's been through it. So
yeah, this is the curly shag that we cut. Hasn't been styled since then. But yeah, this was a really fun cut. We did it live, so you can definitely find the live cut. Look for curly shag, and then you could fast forward to the live class. And if you watched it and you're just looking forward to seeing the cut up video, the shorter video of it, that's coming for sure in probably next week, if it's not out already. So, all right, so we'll get into cutting fringe. I want to start off with answering the question about how much hair to put in your fringe. For me, if I was cutting a side fringe, I would take that side parting right away. Right now, we're doing the kind of a center point V. Actually, you know what? Let's just I'm going to take it exactly the way I would for you guys. So we'll base this off of a left-hand side part. So I'll comb everything back just like this. And then I'm going to figure out where her parting is. It's a pretty important question to ask your client, where they most of the time part their hair. If they're not sure, obviously just have them pretend to move their hair over. As soon as they do that, then you'll kind of know where it's at. You don't have to be so precise in exactly where they're going to part it, but definitely within, an inch or so at this point. So a safe point for me is right at the edge, about half an inch, maybe eighth of an inch in from the edge of the eyebrow. Usually is a pretty good focal point. So I start right there and I comb back. Well, I comb the hair back to get the hair flowing, and then I take the point of the comb and I draw my line back to about the crown of the head. And then the whole time I'm doing that, I'm focusing on the density of the hair. How much hair do they have? If their hair is super thick, then I'm going to be more careful with how much hair I add to the bangs, and then also the elevation that I take the bangs in. So the first thing is I find my parting. Second thing is I focus on the density, and I decide how much hair do I want to kind of tie into this fringe. We talked about before, kind of in one of our past classes that we did over the last couple weeks, elevating straight out for thick hair, really creating that bang. But that was a longer fringe, and actually I think it was on this mannequin. That was a longer face frame kind of feel for long hair. This is just going to be bangs. So the way that we're going to do this, you zoom in. So I'm going to work diagonal forward partings because I want to keep my fingers parallel. We're creating this angle to come across the face. The first thing I want to do is decide where I want that first little bit to hit. We're going to say like right around the nose area. I want to keep these a little bit longer because we're going to cut the curtain fringe as well. So I'll comb the hair in the direction I'm going to part, just like this. And then I take from the parting down. Now, this is where I don't have to worry about how much hair I'm putting into it. The curtain fringe is going to be a little bit different, how big our section is. This here, I'm taking it little by little, so I'll kind of work it in that way. So at first, I take my first diagonal parting, just like that. This is mimicking, so this angle here, I basically think of it as it's following through, and this is where the hair is going to lay, right? So my finger angle will then mimic that parting, so it'll be parallel to the parting. And then as soon as I cut this, it then falls short to long and lays short to long this way. So that's the whole goal with cutting in a fringe. All right. So I take that section, I bring it over to me. I'm standing on the opposite side of the chair, pulling from this side of the head. Bring it over. My elevation for my first line is not high. I just cut my guide. So I'll turn a little bit so you can see. So right here, and I go through, and I start to cut my line. Just like that. So now you'll see you've got your shorter piece down to your longer. So now, we always talk about elevation, right? And elevation takes out weight. So as soon as I start lifting this hair up, weight starts to come off. Basically what it does is it takes the hair that's your guide that's shorter, and it cuts the hair that's on top of it a little bit longer as you lift. So this I cut straight down because, again, usually I'm working off of, I find 90 degrees, which is here. And then I drop this. This is now pretty much sitting at 0 degrees, which is what one thing that I want you guys to really understand is how this head shape works. So as the head shape starts to curve away from me and I take more and more hair away, notice the difference in this angle. So let me turn a little bit. So here's the head shape, 90 degrees, holding the hair at about 0, right? Now I go here and I take hair from here. Now look where 90 is. And now look where 90 is. And this, if I keep bringing everything to this stationary point right here, it gets heavier and heavier as I go. So every section that I take, when I take another parting here and I bring it over to me, now I'm going to slightly elevate this just to counteract the head shape that's starting to curve away. So I don't take it way up right away. That's not the goal. I want it to be nice and soft. But instead of it being here, I then bring it here. And then the next section, I'll bring here. And just slightly lifting as I bring the hair over, which will give me a softer effect and remove a little bit of weight and make it nice and soft as it comes around the head shape. The other thing is when we talk about density, the density of the hair starts to come into play as we take sections across. So if they have really thick hair and I don't want the bangs to be super thick, what I'll do is this pivot point that I have here, so I take my first parting and I make my first cut, right? Let me see here. So this was my first section, my first cut. I cut that. Then, so this I'm going to call my pivot point at this point here. So if they have thinner hair and I wanted to thicken up the fringe a little bit, I would just go parallel and work, boom, right up to the next one. That'll start bringing in more of the density, more of the hair, and then boom, take another one, more of the density, more of the hair, and then so on and so forth. If they have thick hair, I'm going to pivot. Instead of going like this, my move will be like this. And then it'll be like this, and I'll come across. That way, I'm not grabbing hair from all the way up here. I'm just pulling in a little bit from the front fringe area as I go. So I pivot. We'll say that this is for thick hair. I pivot just like that. And I bring that over to my guide. And again, work on that elevation, slightly lifting it up. So just like that, pulling it over. So now you can see it's falling nice and has that nice angle to it. Use that pivot point and again, come across just like that, bringing it over to me. Elevation, a little bit more, and cutting. And I'll continue, so you can see right here, I'll continue to that edge about an eighth, whoa, that's easy to say, an eighth of an inch from the edge of her eyebrow right there. So one more on the pivot, across, there we go. And this will just be a nice light fringe for our haircut. Working on that elevation, make it nice and light. So there you go. Now you have that angle. When she combs it over or blow dries it over, you get that kick and you have a nice side fringe on the haircut. Now, again, we go into the weak side, which we've talked about quite often. Difference between the part side. So this is the part side. You got your heaviness, all the density sitting here. Then you have very little hair over here, a lot less hair sitting on this side. So I'm not going to necessarily cut the hair the same on this side as I did on the opposite. So what I'll do is I'll take a diagonal parting, turn it just from that pivot point down. And I'll even take out a little bit of this hairline. I'm not trying to get any sideburns. And I'll shift my hand down, and I'm just going to build up a little extra weight on this side. So I shift my finger just like that and just connect that point through. And then that connects the bangs. So just giving me a little bit on each side, but not going too extreme with it. So let me see what I'll do real quick. Comb this back. Just going to blow dry these so you can see them, how they fall. I'm going to grab up something I never grab, which is a round brush. It's a rare moment, people. And I'll brush everything, kind of round brush it right to where I cut it. Then I let it go. You can see that volume there. And then let me brush it over. So you can see some nice full fringe. Let's use the finalizer, the flip turn. Oh, it's literally called the flip turn. Joico hairspray. Smells good. Like the beach.
It's my favorite stuff.
Yeah. So you guys can see that's a nice little side fringe. I'll just turn it for you guys so you can see. So you can see how it flows nicely. And then these little layers that sit nice and soft, it has everything to do with that elevation of the hair as you're going through the process. So we elevate, so I think we'll say Rita Rita. Rita Rita arithmetic. I was like, literally, okay. Yes, so she's saying, so we elevate gradually, yes. So as you're coming through here, you lift this up slowly as you're going across the head. You just think about where 90 is and then where 0 would be off of that. I always think that anything below 0 just gives you a very heavy line. So 0 is pretty soft. It's heavy, but it's soft at the same time. So I just go through here and then bring it over and elevate. Did we lose our chat on that side? So this way, Carly, over here, go over to the TV with the mouse. It's weird. They're connected. There you go. And then, oh, wow. And then reload, yeah. All right, so I can see your chat. Did anybody ask any other questions? Because it won't come up with the old. All right, and we're going to cut a curtain fringe really fast, and then we'll be good for the day. You'll be on with your Friday. Hopefully busy books. See any questions in there?
How would you blend/connect a short bang to a face frame fringe?
How would you blend or connect a short bang to a face frame?
Yeah.
So that's actually really simple. My hair is all in my face today. Not that you guys care. Okay, so Nope. Sorry, guys. We have to make it good for the video that will come later from this. All right. So, if this was the scenario where you had the bangs, but you wanted to add a face frame to it, it's actually really simple. Just keep continuing that pivot point past the eyebrow, and then that way you're pulling this hair from further and further. Now, you wouldn't probably have that same elevation, like you wouldn't be elevating it, because as the hair moves down here and you're bringing it over, there's going to be some extra weight that happens. So what you could do is you could shift this way if you wanted to, and then once you got to the side, start bringing it up and elevating it a little bit more. You can disconnect it slightly. You don't have to have everything at this point here, but cut your fringe that way because that's how it'll work best. Then separate it all and start bringing and elevating your face frame, and maybe grab a point from this to use as a guideline, but you don't have to use the whole thing. So, and then you could continue down the side. It would tie in your face frame to that fringe as well. So hopefully that helps.
Amanderness.
Who is this?
Amanderness. I'm guessing
Amandress?
Amanda. How do you avoid split and side swept? I've tried with and without products. I've tried blow drying, soaking wet with a round brush, flat iron. They always split.
I wonder if they're saying split like when you style them and then they kind of a piece falls. I think that has a lot to do with weight distribution. It's also the reality of hair just wanting to do what it wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
So using the right products. So what I did was so I did the cut, right? I blew it dry with a round brush, everything to the same spot that I cut it. That gets everything kind of flowing in the right direction. Then I brush it over and I used more of a firm hold hairspray to help get that kick. I think what happens is when you try to use products, and we talked about this with male hair yesterday, but it's the same thing with female hair. When you're trying to use the products to make hair do what it doesn't want to do, it's going to come back at you anyways, right? Like it's going to do what it wants to do. So what you have to do is use the heat of the blow dryer, the brush, to make the hair, to change the bonds, the direction of the hair, all of that. You got to change it. Then the product is kind of like the icing on the cake. But you can't just have icing. You'll get sick. Right, Carly? So that's what I would say. Make sure that your styling is making the hair do it first, then just add the product to get the detail in there. So what I would say for me, I was blow drying it, round brushing it the opposite direction, because I knew then when I let it go, it would give me the extra volume here, and then it would kick out from the hair. So round brush it this way to make it kick and flip and have volume the other direction. All right, so now we're going to do a curtain fringe. Curtain fringe is pretty much cut. I would say an actual curtain fringe would be on more of a center type parting. Somebody that wears their hair down the center. So how I would find the density or the amount that I wanted to do on this is first let's part it down the center. So I'll go right down the center. That's not right down the center. Like that. Comb everything over. Now we're fighting the old bangs, which is a pretty salon reality thing here. So I'll comb that right down the center. Then what I'm going to do is I want to decide how much bangs do I want, right? Again, with this curtain fringe, this technique, you don't necessarily have to make that decision right away. It also will work off that same kind of pivot point strategy. So what I'm going to do is a little more saturation on the hair here.
So Marcus wants to know, sometimes when I release the section of my face frame, I notice the weight is more interior instead of on the design line, and the frame looks weak. What is causing that?
Sometimes I release the section on my face frame. Okay, I think I get it. So I think what Marcus is trying to say is that when he takes his hair over, when he releases it, instead of the weight sitting on this line along the edge, it's up in the actual hair. So you're getting those shorter pieces. I think that has a lot to do with elevation, I would say, without actually seeing what you did. So I would say it has elevation and also finger angle, because some people will grab the hair, they'll take their section and they'll come around like this to be really extreme with that angle, which I think is kind of defeating that purpose, because again, you look at where you're bringing the hair from. I mean, depending on what you're going for, but this is removing a lot of weight and you're going to cut real short pieces up in the interior part of the haircut, and the exterior part that's sitting in this part of your hand is just going to be heavier, and your line isn't going to be as solid. So I think what I would do is just kind of practice what we just went over and go and really focus on that elevation throughout it, and not and you should be fine. Like that, you shouldn't be getting those issues if you're doing it that way. It's really the only thing I can say without looking at what you've done.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a good question. I was actually going to ask you that later, because I cut a fringe yesterday and I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah, you kind of had the same thing?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Cool.
Well, then maybe you can do it again and we'll see if
Yes.
if that's the case again, and then I can really answer the question.
Yeah.
All right, so curtain fringe. Let me talk to the people real quick. Talking to the people. All right, guys. So now we're gonna focus. For this cut, we're gonna focus on a curtain fringe. The way that a curtain fringe really works, and I'm guessing where it got its name, is that it's gonna start short in the center, and it gets longer and kind of curtains the face, opens up just like your curtains do, right? So it kind of has that nice angle to it, opens up the face. But what I like when I see a curtain fringe, I like when it kind of just hugs the eyes a little bit and opens up and hits right about the cheekbone area, is where that length sits. Not too short and not starting too short. So that's what we're going to cut today. The way that we're going to do it, center parting, and then so center parting, just like this. Again, we're going to work. I'm going to do more elevation this time because a curtain fringe to me is lighter and it's going to have a nice flow to it. The heavier it is, the more it's going to want to flop into her face. So I take still that same pivot point section, but what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to get all fancy and try to create some crazy technique for you guys. I'm going to show you exactly what I would do in the salon, which is comb this hair towards me, over direct it about an inch away from the nose. So over the nose, past the nose a little bit, have that elevation, and then I'm going to start cutting up just like this. So we cut. Now, when I let that go, again, we get that short to long piece, but because of the elevation, it's going to be nice and light. I've got this piece hitting right at the nose. Some of you guys are probably like, how did you figure that out? How did you figure out how to get it to sit at the nose? For me, it's experience of cutting links and just knowing kind of by my eye, looking at it, cutting it, knowing it's going to hit there. If you guys don't have that experience, what I would do is take a piece from the top here, and I would go to the nose without any tension. I would drop the hair in front of the nose, and I would cut this piece right at the nose. And then once you have that guideline, you pull this hair up, and you use that piece as your guide, and you cut your line. Don't grab from the bottom and cut there. Then you'll lose it. That's where you'll end up with those short bangs. So make sure that you're not going too extreme cutting underneath. Now, we're going to work off the pivot point. Let's pretend like they have thick hair. If they had thin hair, I would go straight parallel to that section, continue my way through until I was at the edge of the eyebrow, and I would stop. With this, I want to pivot just like that. Bring the rest of the hair over to me, over top, about an inch past the nose, and that's where I'm going to cut. Oh, come on. Come on. And then here, down, again, working off that pivot point. I wonder if that's where pivot point got their name. Does anybody know that answer?
Huh.
Do they pivot a lot? All right. So that's the first side, shooting over. Now, I'm going to grab, let's see, we got our piece from the top here. I'm going to comb the rest of this over, clip it away, just like that. So now I've got my guide piece, come over to the other side of the head, take my diagonal parting from that pivot point, which is the top of this, right? That's the pivot point here, comb down, and now bringing that hair over to me about an inch past the nose. Just like that. You got your guide, and now I'm going to cut the hair down. Could point cut this as well if you wanted to. It would just soften your line a little bit if you want. Again, bring it over. Inch past the nose. Cutting a line. And that's about it. I'll cut this last bit. All right, so now comb that down. So now you've got your long or your short point at the nose, and then it gets longer. Short point at the nose gets longer. That's going to allow us to have that curtained fringe look. I'm going to blow it dry so you guys can see it. Clip this side away.
What do you think is the most versatile type of fringe for people who like to be able to wear it in different ways?
I think this one. I think this is definitely a good one. It's but also, like we were saying before, if you did a technique, like if you had somebody that did wear it both ways, that side fringe that we cut on this side in the previous technique, that side fringe you could then do on this side as well. It would make your long point, instead of your long point being on both sides here, like the curtain fringe, your long point would be in the center, and it would get shorter up here. That would allow versatility to go back and forth. So it really just depends. And honestly, I think you have to have a little bit longer length if you want to do that option I just said. I think these bangs are pretty versatile. You can wear them over to the side if you wanted to. But again, you'll have like a tiny little gap in the center. But I think that this length comes across really nice. But it probably will want to force itself down to the bottom, which is where I see a lot of people like that have, actually Carly is one of these people that back in the day used to get your bangs cut. Yeah. And it would be like people would bring the hair, like if they're going to wear it this way, they would bring it over this way and cut it. And it just isn't cut the right way. Yeah. So we need to make sure that we're bringing it away from where it's going to live when we cut it. So I'm going to blow dry these straight out, a little bit of volume. I'm going to use the round brush again, but I like using the round brush when the hair is almost dry because I don't like using a round brush. It's not my my cup of tea. There it is. All right, so now I grab the round brush. I'm going to turn, not my cup of tea, but definitely necessary in life. So I don't always round brush, but when I do, I use ergo. So I'm going here, blow drying it, giving it some volume, nothing extreme, you can't see it. Here, volume, straight out from the head. Not 80s volume, straight out at about 0 degrees. Just to give me a nice soft bend. Then we take our flip turn and we flip and turn this. So now, curtain fringe is a little more split in the middle. Oh, that was gross. So it opens up the face a little bit. Let's see where we're at here. That's hilarious. Hang on. Blown dry bangs and wet hair is not a good combo. I'm gonna blow dry a little better. Hang with me, people. Hang with me. What would you use for clients that hate hairspray? Susan, I would use maybe like I have this whip product by Paul Mitchell Invisible Wear, Cloud Whip, I believe it's called. I like those kind of products because they're very light hold, but you can run them in your hand and then just kind of run it through the hair a little bit. Still gives kind of a hairspray hold to it, but without the spraying part. So that would be some kind of texture cream I'd put on there.
That's become like one of my favorite products, the Cloud Whip.
What's that?
The Cloud Whip.
Yeah, the Cloud Whip, yeah.
It's become like one of my favorites.
Lynn's saying texture spray. I would use a texture spray too. Like I like the Joico. What is that beach spray?
I don't know exactly what
Hang on,
it's
I
called.
gotta. I really like that one. It's got a really good smell to it, but it comes out in an aerosol way. So, a lot of people, I think it's in the closet. I'll show you guys that one. If they just don't like hairspray, but they do still like sprays, then I have a different product for you guys. This blow dryer is the Dyson blow dryer. A lot of people ask about it. I think that's the reason why I use it, even with my clients as well. It's definitely a talking point. It's an expensive dryer. From a consumer standpoint, I don't think it's worth $400 to $500 or whatever it is. From a professional standpoint, I mean, we use our tools all the time. So I go back and forth. I like this one. I like the Paul Mitchell dryer. That's it. Beach Shake. Here it is. So this is Beach Shake. So this is like a texture finisher. I like this product to put it on because it just creates a ton of texture, but it's not a super strong hold, which is kind of nice for those clients that don't like hairspray feel. I've heard hairdressers say the Dyson cuts out throughout the day. Have you had any problems? Hannah, no. The one thing I would say, this is my second one. I had to use their warranty because the filter is so small that if you don't clean it, the thing will, and you got to clean it all the time. They're like, you should clean it every day. And I'm like, well, we're busy, and that's hard to clean every day. I just don't know. I think it's too expensive for consumers, and it's not built with the professional in mind. I think it's built with style in mind. But it does blow dry the hair really nice. I just don't know. I think when you look at like more workhorse dryers, they're meant for the professional. They can be dropped. They can be, put through a lot. Somebody gave me a hard time the other day because I was ripping through the mannequin head. It's part of the reason why I use mannequins, because just trying to get this dry for you guys. I would not treat my clients that way. So now it's starting to come together. There we go. Start to see. I mean, this isn't a haircut here, but you hit it with the round brush a little bit. Smooth it out just a little bit. I don't really want curl in it at all. Okay. That's looking a little better. You belong over there. All right. What hairspray are you using? Oh, my nose hairsprayed up. This is the Joico Flip Turn. It's a 10 plus hold, so it's got a really strong hold to it. I love this thing for finishing looks, especially if you're trying to get a good shot for Instagram. Using this kind of hairspray will hold it in place, cuts down any of the frizz in the hair, all that kind of stuff. So like I'll spray it over and just work down all of those. All these. I just apologize to the mannequin. It is Friday. It's definitely Friday. Spray this through here. Get everything looking nice. All right, cool. So, let me see. So I hope you guys enjoyed the curtain fringe. Hopefully you can use it in the salon with your guests. I think the key things to think about when you're cutting any kind of fringe is that elevation. The over direction is important. The elevation is important. Those are the two things you really got to take into consideration. If they have thick hair, make sure you lift it up above where it wants to live, or where it lives, above that 0 point, nothing below. If you're trying to build weight, keep it at 0. Work your angles, and then I think you'll have more success with cutting a fringe behind the chair. So let me know what you think in the comments. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube if you're not already. The great thing about YouTube that is unlike any other platform, when we go live with these classes or anything like that, it alerts you right away. So I think it's the easiest way to stay in touch with what we're doing. But we're on all the platforms at Free Salon Education on Instagram, Facebook. I have a page on there. Free Salon Education has a page, so you can follow. We're live on there as well. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go back over. Oh, I lost my sound here. want to go back to the chair. We'll recap everything that we did. Is Christina coming back? You don't think so? She's done? I needed her. This is the part I needed. Can you grab her real quick? So that we can, I want to go over a graphic from a guy that sent a question. So we're going to answer one more question about graduation that somebody sent me earlier that I wanted to get to. I saw that he was on here, so we're going to answer that real quick, and then we'll be done for the day. You guys can enjoy your Friday. All right. The graphics, sorry. I totally forgot about it. I didn't wake up this way, but I'm sweating now. All right. Okay, cool. So, lights. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I did want to answer one question, so we have a graphic we're going to pull up. I'll pull up the question. This is a question about graduation, which I found to be very interesting, the way that it was asked and presented. So I'm going to pull up the graphics, or Christina's going to help. We're going to pull up the graphics. And this is the question. It comes from star_academy_official on Instagram. And they're asking, in the figure above, which will be what we're showing you. So this was that they sent me. Which is correct and what is the difference? So you've got, and where exactly, let's see. Yeah, just basically what is the difference in these two things. So I want to talk about these two scenarios. Those of you guys that follow head sheets. You've got one, which is a traveling guide from the occipital bone, which is on the left that you're looking at. So you've got that left-hand side occipital bone area. And then from the occipital bone, it's all cut at 0. We talked about that today a lot. Not from the occipital bone, but cutting it at the fringe. When you cut that at 0, and then you build a stationary guide from that point. So you grab a point from the occipital bone and cut up stationary. That's where you're just going to get the heaviest. And basically what I'd say about that is, if you think about what we talked about today, everything's cut at one length. That's not at 0. Then you bring it to the stationary guide, which is not traveling, and it's at 0 at that very first bit. But then as you travel up the head, notice that it goes less than 0. So that's where when people cut, when they cut a graduation, it starts to get too heavy because they keep bringing everything down. It's not a one length, but it's a graduation because you're elevating, and it's a very, very heavy elevation or graduation because of the low elevation, if that makes sense. I know that was all over. Then you look at the next one, which is the traveling 0, which is what he's saying. So it's from the occipital bone, and then as he's moving up the head shape, he's showing lines that come off of it that keep it at 0 degrees, which is what we talked about today. That's going to be a nice light graduation, which is what I consider 0 degrees because of where it's coming off of the head shape. So think about that. That's going to be nice and light. That's going to be what your typical kind of what we would call in beauty school 45-degree graduation will look like, because of the way that you're elevating throughout the head to that almost, to 0, but what we would call 45 degrees in beauty school. So to try to sum it up, the differences between these two things is the left-hand side would be super heavy because it's below that 0 degree point. The right-hand side would be nice and soft because every step that you're taking up the head shape, you're counteracting where that weight is going to be really heavy. So that's what I would say about those two things. And none of them are wrong. So he asked which one is right. None of them are right or wrong. They're just different outcomes because of the elevation. So if we were to wrap up today's whole entire thing, what I would say is that it's all about elevation and where you're pulling the hair to. So if you pull the hair and then you keep it at 0 to the occipital bone, which is something I like to do, but then you combine the left-hand side and the right-hand side, and from the occipital bone up, you focus on where that 0 degree point is, you'll have a nice sharp line on the bottom, and then a nice graduated feel to it because you're taking the head shape into consideration. So that's all I have to say about that. I hope that helps him, and I hope it helps you guys get more of a visual of how you're working up the head shape and what's happening. And I think people need to also understand that when you're working on the front of the head, it's the same thing. So when you have, when you're cutting bangs like we did today, the elevation is so important throughout it. So that is that. That is that, and that is that. Oh, I don't want to play that song again. We're done with the Friday song. All right, so you guys have anything else?
No.
Do you have an Instagram yet? Not like a hair Instagram yet? Carly's been doing some really fun haircuts, though, at night. You should start capturing them.
Okay.
You should,
Yeah.
and then putting them out there.
It's hard to take pictures of, like, at least on my phone, of mannequins.
Okay, I'll show you. That's one thing I think is really cool, and what a lot of people that are in school, we talk about this, but when you're coming up in the industry, capturing all of that. Like, I wish I had some of my first haircuts.
Oh,
I
I have
have-
those.
You have pictures
Yeah,
of
I
it.
have
those.
pictures of your first haircuts on my head.
Well,
When I first-
those weren't my first. Those were like,
Oh
No,
my
I
those were
have-
far in. I should have been better.
I have stuff from school. I just, like, now it's just the mannequins that I've been working on. Like, it's easier to take pictures of live people than, like, a mannequin. But
I think the opposite.
really,
Yeah. I don't know why. I think it's because a mannequin's never making a weird face.
well, yeah.
I mean, it's just always the same.
Mhm.
And like, but yeah, I mean, I guess I get it. But I think it would be cool to document your
Oh, yeah.
your like career as you're going. So,
Carly, this whole time you've been like photobombed and just
oh, by that mannequin.
That was an experiment from yesterday that did not turn out very well.
yeah.
That was
We
the
won't say, but
we did
we'll just
we did some color removing with the mannequin, and
her hair was just couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, no.
She's mad at you.
Yes.
she's giving me the stink eye.
She really is. The whole show.
We're prepping for, so next week we won't have this show,
Yeah.
but we'll be back the week after because we have a big video shoot we're doing next week. And then I'm in Nashville this weekend. If any of you guys are there for the Cosmoprof show, I'm teaching 4 classes so on social media, so it'd be cool to see you there. And then this mannequin that Carly was working on that's photobombing her, there's another one. We're trying to do probably a color melting class for you guys. So we're trying to get some pre-done stuff done for you so that we can show it to you guys the week after. So much coming up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Follow our YouTube channel because the haircuts and everything from this show are going to be popping up there all next week while we're not live. So that you guys have plenty of content to keep you going throughout the week. And that's it. So thank you guys so much. See you next time.
See ya.
Nope. See you next time.
See ya.
Welcome to the Matt Beck Podcast. Woke up this way. He's got a lot of cool stuff he's gonna show you today. The latest news, industry topics, and business tips. For all hairstylists and salon owners, it's time to flip the script. Grab your precision scissors, barber combs, and swivel twist razors. Let's cut a bob, a quick shag, pixie cut with a little bit of flavor. Check out the live classes, product reviews, let's rock on. Don't forget to check out freesaloneducation.com. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. Let me show you the way. It's gonna be a great day.